SAFM.
Alrighty, let's get into this conversation as we wind down 16 days of activism. We are catching up with Peter Mahani with the TARI program, and he's the TARI program manager. GBV, gender-based violence in schools, is very much a silent epidemic that's undermining the safety as well as the well-being and potential of South Africa's children. And in fact, there's been recent findings from the 2020 review on violence against children that reveal that 1 in 5 children in South Africa has experienced sexual abuse. And these should be indeed alarming statistics for any South African, coupled with the consistent videos of physical abuse and violence that we see our children sort of leveling on each other in school campuses. So Peter Mahani joins us now to have this conversations around the work of TARI program and some of the interventions that they've put in place and what they perhaps have seen to be making a difference in the various communities. How are you doing this afternoon, Peter?
Hi, Bridget. Afternoon. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Cannot complain. Perhaps give us some context, I guess, firstly, around the TARI program. When was this initiated? And, of course, what is the strong focus of the program?
Yeah. Bridget, the TARI program, maybe we should start with the name. It's a TARI program. And then I hear you saying TARI program.
Sorry.
So it's a TARI program, which was established in 2017 area called Botshabelo, which is east of Bloemfontein. And then the reason why this program was started is because a feasibility study was conducted, and then the findings were very alarming, where they were indicating that the area or within the school and the community, they are high level of gender-based violence, bullying issues, and then gangsterism. And then as the foundation, Sarah Ramaphosa Foundation, we realized that it's important to be part of the community that is participating in preventing and addressing those issues. And then that's where the Project TARI program was established. And then its focus is to provide services within schools, where we offer psychosocial support, which entails counseling, home visit, and referral of learners that are having social issues. And then we know that in our country, due to poverty and issues that we have that affect our economic income and all that, many of our parents are working and they leave their home as early as 5 o'clock, and then possibly they might come home around 7 o'clock. And then that is a problem, because when most of the learners leave the school, they are on their own and they are exposed to a lot of things out there. So the foundation strategy was also to bring in a safe space within the school where those learners will be accommodated to do their homeworks and engage in other activities, just to try and pull them away from the street. And that project is called a safe park, where our learners are engaged, assisted with their homework and other activities, including chess, Scrabble, and soccer. So the third leg of the project is the stakeholders engagement, where we have a government department, NGOs that sit every month in a meeting to discuss issues that are affecting learners, to have way forward on addressing that, and to try and improve our referral pathway. So those are the 3 pillars of the project that we are facilitating in Botshabelo currently.
Talk to us a little bit about perhaps, if there were, I'm not too sure, any unique challenges that the TARI program encountered maybe when entering these communities and trying to address some of the issues at play?
We have encountered a lot of challenges, just to be honest with you, because we are entering a community that has been stricken with poverty, a community that has been stricken with issues of violence, where people have lost confidence in a lot of services that are being offered from the government, where people no longer believe in standing there and give evidence on the abuse that they have encountered. For example, Bridget, when we go to court most of the time, you will find that people or community members are reluctant to stand in the court and give evidence, even if they have seen a crime happen. The reason being, they feel like the system is not supporting them. They feel like when they get to court, whatever questions that are being asked, sometimes they find them as very intimidating. And community members decided not to continue and support such kind of issues. And then you have people that have been abused, and then they are not speaking up for different reasons. I will tell you a story of a woman who was saying yesterday when we had an event, I cannot report the case because I depend on this man to provide for me and my children. I will stay in this relationship, or I will continue to stay in this marriage because I am unemployed. If I leave this marriage, who is going to take care of me? Those are the challenges that we are facing, Bridget, because here is the program that want to assist this woman, but the woman cannot take a stand, or the woman cannot take a step to her own freedom because of other things.
I mean, I guess it speaks to sort of the broader issues whenever we speak around GBV and femicide in this country. It speaks to the broader socio-economic issues that are at play,
Definitely.
In broader South Africa that need to be addressed in order for organizations like yourself to be able to do what they do within communities. Let's talk a little bit as well about, so you mentioned sort of the different interventions that TARI deploys: counseling, home visits, the psychosocial support.
Yes.
Apologies, it's December. Psychosocial support, and the safe spaces. I think this is a sort of a wonderful example of a 180 approach. When dealing with families and particularly children in trying to bring about interventions of safety and support.
Yeah, with all those three services, Bridget, as the foundation, we are trying our best to add on the services that the government and the NGOs around the area are doing. You will remember when you look at the statistics, I was looking at the report that was done by Commission for Gender Equality, where the report is saying there are 53,498 sexual offences cases that were reported. And then it continues to say those were sexual offences, and then there are rape cases that amount to 48,780. And then given those statistics, Bridget, I mean, it's scary. And then you ask yourself questions like, what is really happening in the country? And then as individually ask yourself, where did we go wrong? And then what can we do as individuals to make sure that this is no longer a problem going forward? Or what can I do to put on the 2 cents of my contribution to address this? And then, as a foundation, we engage everyone, from the business person who is self-sustained, and then to a community members that is sitting in that market trying to sell something to put food on the table. We always pass the positive message to say, this is your area, this is your village, this is your township. Your responsibility is to ensure that you create your own peace. So speak up when you see violence happening, because somebody who is witnessing the violence and they keep quiet we classify those as perpetrators, and those Bridget are the worst perpetrators of them all. So we encourage people to speak up, we encourage people to report, we encourage organizations to make sure that whatever that is happening and it lands in their door, it is reported to the lawmakers.
How are you guys managing to sustain some of your programs and interventions, particularly also places like the safe spaces that you've created for the kids, the safe parks? Some might see these as small measures, but most children will tell you that the one thing that they long for is just a peaceful, safe space for them to be able to be children and them to be able to focus on the task at hand.
Thank you, Bridget. As a foundation, we rely mostly on donors, and we appreciate every donor that is putting whatever an amount of money to sustain our project. And then with those money, we make sure that the children that we are servicing get everything what they want. Maybe, Bridget, to touch on issues of safe spaces that we have in schools. Remember, children, when encountering problems, they can talk to whoever that they trust. Sometimes they found that they cannot trust their parents because abuse is happening in the house. Then, the TARI program have placed child and youth care workers. These are the trained service providers under the social work department that are doing containment. When learners came to the office with the problem, they do containment and then they do home visit. And then we are proud to say our child and youth care workers have really done a very good job in terms of helping these learners, because I have seen learners that are in high school coming to the primary school to say, I'm coming to visit the child and youth care workers that have helped me when I have an issue. They had a strong relationship with these learners. They have built a rapport, a relationship with them, and then they also benefited their trust. These children can tell our child and youth care workers everything that they can. Some of the things they cannot tell their parents, Bridget.
Yeah.
And then through that's when we realize that our program is really making impact, because after the child expressing their feelings, tell the child and youth care workers about what happened to them, these child and youth care workers will professionally engage the parents just to find out whether the story that the child is explaining is true. And we have parents who came to say, prior to the engagement with the program, I was very violent. I was ill-treating my children, but now I am a changed person. So you can tell that this project is being facilitated within the school, but the impact is also going outside the school to the family and the parents or the guardians of these learners. So that's one of the things that we try by all means, that we work with all the stakeholders from DBE, social development, National Prosecuting Authority, health. These are our referral pathways where we refer our learners, because we know in our school, mostly in South Africa, especially schools in rural areas and the area like Botshabelo, we don't have social workers nor psychologists in the school. So we bring those services to the school through our stakeholders forums.
I want to just pause there for a second, Peter, just to take the headline news. And then when we come back, because it does sound like you've piloted quite the successful program since its inception in 2017. When we come back on the other side, I want to find out if perhaps there are plans of scaling up the TARI program, on a national perspective, and especially focused in high-risk areas, and considering that the program is also attached to the number one state's citizens. So scaling up shouldn't necessarily be that difficult for the program. So I want to come back on the other side of the headlines and have that conversation. It's just gone 1:30 on The Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga. Ondele standing by.
Thank you, Bridget. In the news headlines, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has confirmed that about 7,770 employers have defaulted in paying their pension fund contributions as of December 2023. A report by the University of South Africa has revealed a practice of forced and coerced sterilization of HIV-positive women in South Africa, and the South African Weather Service has warned of severe thunder showers in parts of KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
All right, as we wind down on our conversation with Peter Mahani, who is the TARI program manager, and they are an offshoot of the Cyril Ramaphosa Foundation, a program that has been piloted since 2017 and seemingly having great success in the communities that it's working. And Peter, I wanted to know, by way of just the key steps that might be needed for government and other stakeholders to scale up the TARI model nationally, especially in high-risk areas. What is the conversation around that?
Thank you, Bridget. Currently, since the University of Free State submitted a report to the foundation that indicates that the project itself is scalable based on the impact that it's having in the area of Botshabelo. The foundation are in conversation with different stakeholders, including different donors, to try and indicate the impact of this program and say it will be better if we roll out the program around the country. You will know, as a foundation, we can go to a certain extent, but we need the support of government, we need support of other businesses and donors to make sure that this project can be rolled out. So we are in conversation where we are busy now with the business case that will be shared with stakeholders and donors and see if they are those who will come on board and assist us to roll out this project across the country.
For you guys as the program, how have you managed to measure what has been your success over the years? And of course, perhaps if one is doing your SWOT analysis, what other areas of the program need to be tightened and strengthened up in order for there to be maximum penetration or maximum success rates?
Our work is being measured on a daily basis by internal monitoring and evaluation officers. And then after that, we will also engage external M&E from different companies just to have an evidence-based report on the impact of the work that we are doing. And then all those evaluation projects are telling us that psychosocial support is